Go.
All right, so we're gonna do an AromaTouch. It's a 40-minute application of oils to the back, ears, and bottoms of your feet. We use 8 essential oils. We'll go through those as we go. And it helps bring homeostasis to the body. It helps basically like hitting the reset button. So great for stress reduction, pain management, inflammation, and more energy and vibrance, things like that. So these are not officially a part of an AromaTouch, but before you start, you want to make sure that they've gone to the restroom, that I've gone to the restroom, that as a giver, I'm not wearing jewelry that's going to dangle onto them, that my clothes, sometimes I'll have like long sleeves, those are not going to dangle, and that they have maybe removed their earrings since we're going to be going on the ears, or they've removed any jewelry they want. And we do go onto the head, so sometimes if they have real long hair, we'll take out the ponytail, give it a brush. And again, this is not officially a part of the AromaTouch, but if we notice it's dry in Colorado, so I'll typically do some of the carrier oil onto the back to moisturize, and also onto the feet. So I will do that really quickly. Then we will officially start, because there are certain things we do and don't want to do. You can't, when you're looking to benefit someone, you know, some people be like, oh, I don't know how to do it, so I'm gonna do it wrong. You're benefiting someone, so don't worry if you don't do it perfectly. I'm looking for Bobby's cheat sheet, is what I'm doing now. Do you know where that is, Bobby?
The pocket of the apron, the larger pocket.
So I will pull out her cheat sheet too, so we call it a quick reference. So we'll just leave it there so you can kind of peek at that too. So I have some laminated ones too. So when we start, we always make sure our hands are warm, make sure the recipient knows that we're going to be touching them. Typically they'll fall asleep. So typically you wouldn't be talking the whole time. So I open the bottle with one hand here. So I'm pretty self-sufficient, but sometimes people open the bottles. So you start with the oil introduction of the balance. You start from the bottom and you go to the top. And just as another, 4 or 5 drops along the spine. I am not a certified trainer yet. I have to hit the rank of gold 3 times in a row before I'm qualified to go do the instructor training. But I've given about, I'd say 400 AromaTouches. And I was trained by Dr. Hill in Denver in February of 2016. So this is the oil introduction. Notice this hand is going and this hand starts before this one finishes. We go to the crown of the head. You typically do that 3 times with both hands, but if you lose track, then you just kind of go a little more until you're ready to go. Then we do the 3 clockwise palm circles. So I'm connecting with my recipient. You can literally connect your pulses right here. Think happy thoughts, prayer, meditation, and then do 3 circles. 1, 2, 3. And again, you're benefiting your recipient. You're also benefiting yourself, because these oils are going into your body through your hands as well. So then you spread hands along the spine to the crown and the base of the sacrum. And you can hold, again, you can sync your heartbeat here. You can spend as much time here as you need to center yourself. If you've had a rough day too, maybe afterwards you get an AromaTouch. Next, we're moving on to the lavender. So again, always keep your hands on your recipient so you don't, if they are asleep, it's not that jerking awake because all of a sudden something's touching you. So again, the oil introduction. And we're just using the tips of our fingers. I've seen many people do this different ways. I just stick to the way that I learned. There are some official videos online too that I noticed there are some differences in from what I trained. So I guess you'll just have to wait till I get a certified to certify to know for sure. Then we do the alternating palm slide. So you start at the bottom. You're going from the middle of the spine out. And you're not giving a massage, we're applying oils. That's all we're doing. You go all the way up to the top of the head, and then again, before you release from the top of the head, you're started on the bottom there. So this is the second time through. You want to keep it consistent with your pace. Don't speed up or slow down. And then in a second, I'll be moving to the other side here, so we'll probably switch spots here. And my watch is kind of catching her a little bit, so I could have taken my Fitbit off. But usually, yeah, she said she couldn't feel it, so it's usually not an issue, but if it hinders you, then go ahead and take it off. I leave my ring on. A lot of people will take theirs off, but no one's ever said, I guess if you have someone that has a lot of skin tags, they might have an issue with that. So again, these are called the alternating palm slide. Next, we're moving on to the 5-zone activation. So this is the zone 1. Your hands are together and you go along the spine all the way to the top of the head. I've seen people do variations for this as well. Again, I just stick to what I learned and what I remember, and if I'm doing it wrong, I'll fix it later. Same for you. If you've done, I remember the first couple, the 50 or so that I did, I had the oils in the wrong order, and that was still okay. You know, I still benefited them, but this is very scientifically backed, so we're helping the body do what it's supposed to do in a little bit of a faster situation. Now we're doing what's called the ocular stress reduction. So we just grab a little bit more lavender, put it on the tips of our fingers there to spread around to both ears. So we start on the tips. I'm not sure you'll be able to see very well. So my thumb is just on the ear, but the tips of my fingers are what's going in a clockwise motion, I guess that would be, from the tip of the ear to the top. Then I'll slide back down with my thumbs. I'm doing both ears at the same time, just so you know. So again, this is probably why you would have your recipient take their earrings off if they're willing to do that. If they decided to leave the earrings on, this can still work. It's just not as comfortable for either party. You're supposed to do 3, but I'm going into the 4th one. This is really, really nice. This is actually where a majority of the people fall asleep. Next, I'm moving to Melaleuca. Tea tree oil. Again, we do the oil introduction from the bottom. And you'll notice some oils drip faster than others because they all have different viscosity. So oil introduction. And now the alternating palm slides. Some people have little tricks. They'll just say in their head so they don't forget what number they're on. They're on 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Then when you go into the second one, 2, 2, 2. So if you're watching this and you're giving an AromaTouch, I am going a little bit quickly right now because this room is going to be used in a moment. So if you're looking to go a little more fast like this, then you should be able to watch and perform at the same time as I'm doing here. Now I'm coming over to your side. Or if you just kind of take notes and memorize and print out your cheat sheet and kind of watch it and remember it, that works too. But I'm trying to do this video so that you can watch and perform at the same time so that your recipient gets the right things at the right time. So again, now we're on to the 5-zone activation with the Melaleuca. First one goes straight down, and then 2, 3, 4, 5 up, and then at the shoulder blades out and in. I've seen, from my memory, you don't scoop your hands above. So I do it like this, but I've seen some people do it where they will come here and then go into the shoulders. I was taught not to do it that way, so I'm going to continue doing it my way. Again, if someone teaches you a different way, just go with the flow and don't try to overanalyze there. So now we're on to the on guard. So again, 4 to 5 drops along the spine. Oil introduction. Alternating palm slides. And switch to the other side. Try not to use their head as a ball and joint where you're pivoting around them. Hopefully, I mean, they can see your feet, but sometimes you just want them to not even know that you've moved to the other side. Just use your grace and your poise and just roll with it. 5 zone. And if you've received one, you know especially how nice it is when you come here to go up into, you know, their head is kind of kinked there. But if you skip that area, you can really tell. So I really like, it kind of tickles too, and I kind of like to be tickled. So again, right here, you want to keep that same motion. You don't want to use any jerking motions. You don't want to go fast in one area and slow in another area. You just want to keep it consistent and flowing. Now this with the On Guard is where we add the thumb walk tissue pull. So you're going up the spine, one finger on each side, and it's kind of like you're drawing a eyebrow with your thumb all on the spine. So I used to keep my hands out like this, but I found once I got to the top, it became more difficult. So I found that keeping my hands in a fist sort of, and you go all the way up, same as the other ones. And you do this 3 times. So the right thumb is on the right side of the spine, the left thumb is on the left side of the spine. Again, I'm not giving a massage. I'm not looking for balls to start working on. I'm not a massage therapist. I'm an oil applicator right now. So I'm not trying to work out any knots or do anything specific. I am simply applying oils. There's a little bit of pressure there, but nothing, you know, I'm not scratching off any skin or anything like that. Like if you're like me, you're kind of tempted to do actually. Now we are moving on to the AromaTouch oil. So again, the oil application. That's a lot of oil. In a typical day, a person would use 20 to 25 drops of oil if they're working on something chronic, or if you're using this or that. Your body can only do so much in one day, so you can't really overdose on an oil. At the same time, you don't want to be wasteful. You don't want to use too much, but use it when you need to. So now we're doing the alternating palm slides. So this is taking that oil from the spine and pushing it out. And I'm mostly right now on the right side of the spine, so I'm not going all the way across the back, just from the middle to the outside. And I'm mostly using my palms, but I also have my fingertips on there just until I get to the end, because I'm not trying to cup her body. That can be uncomfortable because you cup in the wrong places. And then 5 zone activation. First one is straight down. Second to 5, you go out and back in. And each time you go out a little more. There's charts on that, on the official workbook that show you that. So if you do get AromaTouch certified, it's typically $200, and you do get a full AromaTouch kit. And typically there's an opportunity to buy the massage tables at the end of your session. They usually get the really expensive ones, so I like to get mine on Amazon. Mine was, including shipping, $77. So now this is deep blue. Smells good. And some people are afraid, oh, I don't like so many smells. All those mixtures are going to be too much for me, and it's not a problem for most. My Aunt Marty thought she might have to stop in the middle of her session, but when you're face down, you're not smelling all those, and when you're the one applying them, I'm just really not noticing. Is it terrible for you, Jessica?
Not this time. The first time it was a little more powerful than I expected.
Okay. So yeah, everybody's different, so we got to be sensitive to that and allow people out. Sometimes I've just done the foot technique, or some people have real issues with their feet and they refuse to let you touch their feet, or they're open to it, and once you get to it, they're so relaxed that it's not a problem. So you kind of go with the flow. And if someone is allergic to cinnamon or any of the, I know someone that's allergic to lavender, then you can either use the carrier oil in replacement, so you still do all the same movements, or you can choose a substitute oil. Again, you have to go with what works for people. So obviously allergies are one of those things, and the very first AromaTouch I ever gave was for a pregnant woman, so this is totally safe for all ages. And obviously when you perform this on a child, their body is much smaller, so you'll be able to perform a lot faster on them than you would anybody else. So now that we're on the deep blue, we are doing that same thumb walk tissue pull. And some people do, just through the touch and the oils, they might have, their skin might be a little bit of red because of the peppermint or the deep blue, and you can just apply coconut oil. But as you can see, Bobby, her bodies love the oil, so she is good to go. Sometimes you just touch someone and there's a red mark on them, so help people be conscious of their own bodies, and then you've helped them to do not only the oils but anything else that they decide to do. Chiropractic, Reiki, cranial sacral therapy. There's so many things that go along with what we do with the oils. Now we are going to make sure their back stays nice and warm, that they're cozy, so still maintain contact. Grab the wild orange and peppermint. We go to the feet. I did already use a carrier oil, so I know her feet are ready to go. I typically will sit on the table. Some people don't do that, but we've got a little cheat sheet here too. So it says perform the oil introduction. Apply wild orange first, from heel to toe. Those are the 3 zones, 1, 2, 3. And again, I'm always maintaining contact with her. This is great to do on children, your husband, to ask someone to do to you. Just try not to be too picky, because if it's their first time, they might not do it just by watching a video and looking at the paper. So feel free to call me. So now we're doing the regional tissue pull. So you're imagining that there's a huge zigzag line on the bottom of their feet. We're not going to go into the toes for the regional tissue pull. So it's kind of like those eyebrows that you're doing, except you're doing them on the foot and you're coming backwards. So there's that huge invisible line just back and forth. So you're covering every portion of the foot in a zigzag pattern. Bobby's feet are very soft. And some people refuse to touch people's feet, but whatever. Now we're doing the pinpoint zone activation. So you start at the heel and we're going to the big toe, that's zone 1. And you're just following one finger with the other and pushing. So basically I'm pushing on every zone of the foot. So if anyone's a reflexologist, I'm sure they could speak a little more to why we would do it in this fashion, and why having that pressure straight down and straight up can be so powerful. Next, we will move into the 5-zone tissue pull. So we're going to use those same 5 zones and go 3 times. So I use my thumbs, 1, 2, 3 on the big toe. Then, so see, we are on the toes now. one. Lovely. Then we move to the next foot. So we do the orange first. And if you do know anyone that has heels that dry and crack and bleed, the peppermint is the best thing for those heels. So I've had a friend that in 3 days they used a lotion mixture that I made them, which was mostly peppermint. I think I put a little bit of helichrysum in there, which obviously helps a lot too. Some lavender, and you can add any other scents that you think are lovely. And those bleeding heels will stop in a couple of days. So here's that fake zigzag. And you're doing those eyebrows, kind of what I imagine, or like a half a circle or whatever you want to say it feels like. And then the 5 zone or the pinpoint zone activation. My son at Universal Studios, he was about 12. He gets migraines if he doesn't have enough water, and we were doing real good, and then we just started having too much fun on the roller coasters, and it hit him hard. So he well, I don't want to get too graphic, but he vomited, and then he took a 2-hour nap, and while he was napping, I just did this foot portion on him. And he relaxed the whole time, and when he woke up, he had some more water, and we went roller coasting again. So the oils can be really powerful if someone's sleeping hard, and you can do this to them or do a portion of this. And we also have a hand technique that's really powerful that I'd be happy to do a video on as well. So we are done with the foot for now. And so now we will go back. We will cover the feet, maintain contact. You're through the sheet, so make sure that you're touching appropriate zones as you move up. So try not to touch people's butts, basically. You touch their back, their shin, whatever that may be. And so then we go back to right above the plumber's crack, I guess is what I call it. So you're going all the way down the back. So we first started with the wild orange. So we perform the oil introduction. First the wild orange, then the peppermint. So that's the wild orange introduction. I love how the wild orange, it's orange too. And the deep blue, it's blue. There's no colors added. No dyes. It's all natural. Now we're doing the alternating palm slide. And I'm probably a little faster at this because my transitions are quick because I've done this a couple hundred times. So I don't have to think about or look at the cheat sheet. So if you're not there yet, that's okay. Again, you can't do it wrong. You're benefiting your recipient, so don't worry about it. Then you finish officially here, that same part where you have your hand over the heart chakra, and you do the 3 clockwise circles. And again, you can spend as much time here as you want, just relaxing, maybe stretching your own back, wiggle, cover them. Now we're doing what's called the lymphatic movement. So this is the very last piece. And the way I remember, I'm not a smoker, but I've seen many people smoke, so I just imagine that I've got big cigarette leg and you're pushing, you're not pulling. So I'm pushing with my thumbs away and letting her body naturally come back. So if someone's been asleep and snoring, this typically wakes them up, but not always. So you count 20 to 30 seconds and then you rest 20 to 30 seconds. And since we're kind of in a time crunch, this is the last thing. So you can do 2 or 3 rounds of this. Again, if they're snoring, you kind of want to wake them up so they can get dressed and you can do your next AromaTouch, or so they can give you one. So thanks for watching. If that was too fast and you want me to do another one of these at another time, I'd be happy to. Or if you want to schedule a class and we can do 6 tables and you can invite 15 of your favorite people and we will just rotate and do those, because this is a great thing. So thanks for watching and let me know how you like your AromaTouch.